Hello.
That is very loud. I always forget to turn that down. But hello, everyone. Welcome to another Oh So Curious, not just DCU Daily, but Oh So Curious today. We have all the things today. We have so much stuff to take care of, but we have, what do we have today? Well, of course, we have DCU Daily, but we also talking about Summer of Superman. Going to be talking about the weekend box office so far. But in addition to that, we got our quick hits. We have MCU Weekly as well, because we do have Lizz here. I mean, I'm here, and Dan, if I'm hosting, obviously Dan isn't here, and Lizz got to be here. So, you know, that's just how it be. But we are going to be talking about Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning. Is it final? We'll see. But then, of course, we're going to be talking about a whole bunch of MCU stuff, whole bunch of DC stuff, and then we're going to have a nice little preview for next week in regards to Karate Kid Legends. Now, why don't we just get right into the show and just play that wonderful intro? Although no Knuff just yet, but we got to play James Bond first. So we'll get into that, and then we'll introduce the rest of the show. Tried to adjust my cam, but I was a little bit too late there. Hello, I'm John. Very nice to meet all of the regulars once again. But if you're new here, hello. My name is John. Nice to meet you. And then, of course, as I mentioned before, we have Lizz here today with a new camera that's very grainy right now. But you know, it works. It's fine.
I'm trying to work with the settings and my lighting. It's all new to me. It's fine.
It's fine, but you look great. You got the new camera, so it's totally fine. We're good.
Fun fact, guys, me and John have the same camera. Whoop.
Yeah, because I recommended it.
Obviously.
I recommended it, and she's like, "Ooh, I'm gonna take that now."
So nice on yours. I had to upgrade, man.
Just had to steal my idea. All right, that's how it is. I see you.
I mean, imitation is the highest form of flattery.
When you remember the whole quote in terms of mediocrity or whatever the hell the rest of the quote is. And I'm still flickering. I still got to figure out why. I have anti-flicker on.
Flickering to us, so it's fine.
I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. Maybe you just don't know. I don't know. I'm just trying to create the best quality for the people at home, and I don't want to be flickering. I don't want to be flickering for you guys. I'm not flickering, but I don't plop anyway. But before we filibuster a little bit too much, let's get into the news and let Ryan Gosling tell us all we are Knuff.
It doesn't seem to matter what I do. I'm always number two.
All right, mister, I need to paint my abs on to get nominated. You don't see Robert Downey doing that.
You're kidding. You're kidding.
I can't open the envelope without this.
Warner Brothers is heading back into the Matrix with a new movie in the works.
Wonder what other surprises are in store.
I want to be Bruce Wayne.
I like that. You're gonna love me.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see
right there.
You look ridiculous.
Well, not no more, he don't.
What, dude? I can barely understand you. Your accent's insane.
What the
Give me a hand up. Nope, I'm actually okay. Thank you very much. Oh, wow. Wow.
Oh my goodness, guys. Now let's get properly into the news. First things first, we've got to track the weekend box office. Well, weekend for one day. But, you know, that's how it be. Apparently, your boy Lilo and Stitch earned a massive 14.5 in box office previews yesterday. And, you know, Mission Impossible, a little bit more than half that. And they, you know, did a pretty good job in regards to that. Now, we have been talking about Lilo and Stitch for a while now, very much a while, about how much money it's making. First, it was like 100 million. Then like, oh, it's 120 million. Now it's 150 million. Now it's going to make 165 million at the box office. Apparently, while, you know, Mission Impossible Final Reckoning is going to be tracking way beyond that. Do you now? I stated my piece yesterday on how much I think it will make. Liz, how much do you think it will make? Do you think it's gonna at least Lilo and Stitch? Do you think that's gonna be? It's gonna be even close to 165, or do you think it's gonna be more? Do you think it's gonna be less? And how do How do you think Mission Impossible will stand?
I think it's going to be more for Lilo and Stitch. Honestly, people are losing their minds. Again, I'm traveling across country to see this with my family, so I mean, at the very least, it'll hit 165, but I think it'll be more, especially because it's it's a holiday weekend. A lot of kids are out of school already. It's going to be massive. It's going to be massive. And again, as we know, the family-friendly films always do very, very well. There's not a lot of them, weekly that drop. So any opportunity that, the family has the chance to go out together in the air conditioning, it's a special treat for the kiddos. I think this one's going to be huge. Mission Impossible, probably going to stay right at that predicted number. It's a Mission Impossible film. Everybody likes it. Everybody likes seeing what Tom Cruise is doing, the kind of death-defying things and situations he puts himself into. But at the end of the day, not everybody is a fan of those kinds of films. So it's only going to get so many butts and seats. I think Lilo and Stitch is taking it all this weekend for sure.
I do think it's going to make a ton of money, and I do think it's going to make. I think it's going to make a lot of money. I don't think it's going to make 165. I mean, I can obviously be proven wrong, but I think it's going to make like more of the 120, 130 range. Now, I'm not saying, oh, that's definitely the case, but I'm just like, I just think with the kind of ill will towards Disney a little bit, especially with Snow White, I do think that'll lessen the impact a tiny bit. But at the same time, I think I still think it'll make a ton of money. I think like maybe Mission Impossible will probably be in the 80 to 100 million range. Obviously not as much, but it's still going to be a lot. My theater was packed earlier. Like literally the only seat I didn't see that was taken was the seat next to me because my mom had to duck out at the last second and stay home. But outside of that, like I'm pretty sure every seat in that theater was full. And
did you see it today or last night? Okay.
I did. I saw it today.
Yeah. So I saw it last night. My theater was not full at all. They had a glitch with another theater. So we actually had some overflow from that theater that had the issue into ours. Right. So it was full. It wasn't sold out. It was IMAX though. A lot of people, don't feel like seeing it on a big screen like that.
Yeah, I need to see it in Dolby again because this needs to be seen on the biggest screen possible.
I wanted to see it in Dolby, but I said, you know what? It was shot for IMAX. I'm going to see it in IMAX. And we'll get into the reviews and all of that. But I didn't have a completely full theater. But I think again, given it's the holiday weekend, it's going to do pretty good.
Yeah, I do think it'll do fantastically. Both will do fantastically. I think. I mean, even if it does break, ironically, Top Gun Maverick's Memorial Day record, I still think. And I was saying this yesterday. I'm like. People are going to be like, oh, Tom Cruise is going to be pissed. It's like, Tom Cruise is going to be happy because people are going to the theater again. Like, that's all he cares about.
That's fair. Yeah.
Because it's like, he's just like, you know what? Yeah, Top Gun Maverick, it doesn't hold the top place anymore. If it does break that record, he's like, people are going to the movies, and that's a win. We did, for anyone that didn't see, we did get a little tease before Mission Impossible of Tom Cruise thanking us to seeing a movie in a theater on the biggest screen possible. Thank you for joining the cinematic experience. And you're welcome, Tom. We love you, Tom. Even though you're a little weird, but that's okay. At least you didn't hopefully go to those Diddy parties. But that's just how it'd be. That's just how it'd be. But yeah, Lilo and Stitch is gonna be absolutely redonkulous in terms of its money, but I don't think win for Disney. Sure, it's going to be a win for Mission Impossible either way. But I do believe that it's going to be a really good weekend for the movie theaters because that's what the movie theaters really need. And so that's the best we could all hope for. So, we're happy about that. And it's definitely a Stitch Possible weekend. It's not Barbenheimer levels of, cultural relevance, but look at this loving photo of Tom Cruise and Stitch. I mean, And I do love this. Like, we'll see you at the movies with Tom Cruise just like diving in midair. Because as we all know, that man is going to die on camera, whether we like it or not. That's what we have to believe now. And so, remember, head to the
in his
try to head to
contract.
the
I think he's like, no matter what happens, run it. I think it is. Gang, look what I got today too. Yay!
Yay!
Cool.
I think now I think I need to get a Blizzard tomorrow.
Do it. Treat yourself. You deserve it, John.
I mean, I treated myself today. I went over my calorie count today at the movies, but that's okay.
That's gonna happen. Especially at the movies. Shoot.
Yeah, just I mean, because it's like a movie day. I still have my pretzel from 2 days ago that I have in the box. It's right over there. Actually, you know what? Let me go get it. I'm gonna go get it right now.
Is it the Bavarian? Did you get the Bavarian?
But I did get this pretzel when I went to the fighter flight. And look at this thing. Look how huge this thing is.
I still haven't even.
You could feed a family of 4 with this damn thing.
I haven't
and
even.
I'm still gonna eat it because I'm
good for you.
Fat, so
yo, put that in the oven. It'll be fine. It'll pop right back. You put it in the oven, a little butter on top. Come on now.
I got the cinnamon sugar with the icing because I'm a true fat boy. But you know, it's just like, because the thing is, I had the pretzel bites before. I'm like, you know, let me have the full pretzel, and then I get this thing. I'm like, oh, it's probably just big packaging. But then I opened that. I was like, oh, sweet baby Jesus, this is. I'm gonna need God, and I'm gonna need a toilet later. Jesus Christ. But it's, you know what? It's still delicious. I don't care. That was a damn good pretzel.
Good for you.
But main man fan is jealous of my pretzel. Yeah, I would hope so. I mean, I could probably eat an entire family could eat that thing. But main man fan, right dude, and Monique Rupley are all in the chat. Hello, hello. And Monique Rubley did make a fair point of Lilo and Stitch is Disney's printing press. When you got a cute animal in a movie, guys, the merch is wild. The merch is unbelievable. Yeah. But they've been, I mean, truly, since the cartoon, the original film to today, the merch has been nonstop at all of the Disney parks, all of the Disney stores. Some of the popcorn buckets and accoutrement that I've seen, like for example, AMC Theaters has Stitch ears that you can get, a little headband of Stitch ears. Cinemark has an actual Stitch plush that attaches to the popcorn buckets. So they are just going buck wild with the merch. Oh yeah. I when I was getting out of the theater for Mission Impossible, it was about 5:30. There was somebody in a full Stitch onesie in the snack line, and the snack line was like filled to the brim with people. Like the entire line was like full. So I mean, it's gonna be making all the money. So yeah. But I agree with Monique Rupley, sorry. I am hoping Mission Impossible has long legs at the box office. I hope so too. What? Elite Easy. I don't know what you're quoting here. Famous original rays. It's just original.
My shirt, which is not accurate. My shirt is from Blues Brothers, but still, I appreciate the reference, the call out. Thank you, Elite Easy.
Is that Seinfeld?
I believe his is from Seinfeld. Mine is my
Blues Brothers is the superior one. Anyway, but on to the next thing. A little bit of sadder news. But we got to touch upon it a little bit. But apparently, Billy Joel has canceled the rest of his concerts amid the news that he has a normal pressure hydrocephalus brain disorder. So a little sad to talk about, but I think it's still important enough to talk about. I mean, I am a huge Billy Joel fan. He still is the only concert I have ever been to. So it was sad to see and sad to hear, but he was very, saddened by it. He's like, I wish I could be there for my fans, but yeah, I'm sorry to disappoint our audience. But yeah, it's kind of a weird part of life. He's in his 70s. He's getting to that point, but I think it's safe to say that Billy Joel was never going to stop unless something like this happened. So, yeah, that is how it is. Liz, I don't know if you have any reference for Billy Joel. I don't know if you like him, hate him, or are indifferent. But
no, I mean it's of course it's sad, and he's been touring for so long, and the best goes out to him and his family, because that's just anybody ever dealing with something like that. It's not great, regardless of who you are. You could have all the money in the world, but these things you just can't shake, and you can't help it. So, it's a shame. So, good luck to him. I hope there is recovery. I don't know what the treatment is for something like that. So, hopefully he's got the right doctors behind him and he can get back out there.
Apparently, under his doctor's instructions, Billy is undergoing specific physical therapy and has been advised to refrain from performing during this recovery period. Billy is thankful for the excellent care he is receiving and is fully committed to prioritizing his health. So yeah, he had a tour of 17 shows that went across North America and England. So, there has been a lot of love and support from Robert De Niro and Jane Rosenthal, of all people, helping him, giving kind words and all that. So, yeah, it is a sad thing to see, but we gotta deal with news like this. It's not the worst news we're dealing with today, but part of the reality. But let's move on to bigger and better things. Let's not leave the news on a sad note. But speaking of Lizz's new cup, let's talk about the Summer of Superman. Apparently, the Kryptonite age has begun. Dan Slott, the very controversial Dan Slott, he joins artist Rafaela Buquerque. I don't know how to pronounce that name, and I'm not going to try. They launch a bold new era for the Man of Steel, and the DC universe will never be the same. Apparently, Superman Unlimited is on sale now, even though this is not, Superman the film. There is still a lot of stuff going behind the scenes with the comics. So if you are a fan of Dan Slott, all three of you, or if you're a fan, or if you're intrigued with this type of thing, then most definitely check this out, because Superman Unlimited is on sale now, and it has to deal with a major thing of kryptonite, because apparently with Superman Unlimited, DC has officially introduced new powers for Superman. This golden new form allows him to finally survive any kryptonite. So apparently, in Superman Unlimited, the Dan Slott, I don't know if it's a mini series or a run, but we are gonna be reaching all new levels of OP. Apparently, he's infusing him with the might of kryptonite to take a new golden form. Apparently, invulnerable to his most famous weakness. So, it's definitely an interesting thing to be talking about, because kryptonite is, that's the big thing, that even though, despite being very rare, somehow every time everybody can get their hands on it, which is very interesting. But I know you're not a big comic reader, and I know you're not a big DC Comics fan, but are you curious about this? Would this make you go out and try to read it, or you're like, nah, whatever?
No, I'm not into comics. Again, you guys, I don't even have the time. Like, you have no idea how many books are piled up at my house right now. But I have a lot of questions. Like, how does one activate this golden protection power thing? Like, to me, like, I see this and I just think like Mario. Like, does he have to like eat a flower, or like touch a star, or get a mushroom? Like, how does this work? So I'm curious about that.
Yeah, he's like goes into star mode like Super Mario.
We've got this new element to kind of play around with, but I agree with you. It is very curious how people get a hold of kryptonite so easily. But yeah, cool, very cool.
It is pretty cool. I'm curious how that will go. I wouldn't spend my money on a Dan Slott comic, but it does sound interesting. I might, go to certain site and maybe give it a read, but definitely an interesting turn of events for this little bit. But but that is for the comic side of things. Now we are going back to the movie side of things, so Lizz can join in the conversation again. But apparently this is all about the new character. We've talked about it a couple times because they released toys of it, but apparently James Gunn Superman isn't pulling any punches as it introduces the new Baby Joey character. Now, this article essentially states what many people in the comments were stating before about the Baby Joey character. You know, they're gonna introduce gonna be like Grogu or Groot, where it's gonna be this cute, cuddly character that all the kids will love and will beg and scream and rant and tantrum until their parents buy them one. So many people have stated that Baby Joey is most likely a take on Jonathan Mason, the son of Metamorpho and Sapphire Stag. We made a bit of a theory that in the cell next to Superman and in the trailer, when you see him get hit, you see a woman in the background like gasping in the next cell. Many people have theorized that that was Sapphire Stag, and that, you know, her and Metamorpho are in the same meta-human prison, and that maybe Lex Luthor or even, you know, his grandfather Simon Stagg, who is a villain kind of villainous in the comics. Well, in the comics, used him as a weapon, and maybe in the film will also be trying to use him as a weapon, or even Lex Luthor using him as a weapon. So obviously, we will have to see that, but it seems like we are going to be joining. He is going to be joining the pantheon of cute and cuddly little I don't know, creatures, I guess. I mean, he is a metahuman. I don't know if he's like a creature, but like, you know, it works, I think. But I don't know. Do you think he'll be up to Grogu and Baby Yoda levels, or do you think he's just gonna be he's just gonna be like kind of a reject, and they're gonna be like, let's get rid of that?
I hope not. My wallet can't take it, quite frankly. He doesn't seem as cute and cuddly as them. Like when I saw these images, I was like, I'll pass on that. But they know how to sell toys. They know how to market these things. So I'm sure at some point he'll get a glow up and I'll find him adorable. We'll see how I feel.
Or maybe just the toy version.
That's what, that's what I'm saying. Like they might make him cuter in the toys, and you know, we'll find out. But as of right now, I'm not running to this toy stores to pick this up just yet.
All right, but maybe if it was in Funko Pop form, you would get it. Maybe
we'll see. I'm very particular about my Funkos. I don't just go buying any Funko that's on the show.
No, that's fair. That's fair. But Elite Easy is saying make some crypto plushies and dolls. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, they kind of already are, and we'll be getting to that. We're going to be talking about that again because we want Lizz's thoughts on it. But in regards to the kryptonite, no pink kryptonite, just the golden form. We don't talk about pink kryptonite, and we'll just try to keep
I don't know
it
if I
that way.
want to ask the way you're.
I'll tell you after the show. But apparently Monique Rupley is in agreement, Liz. Not cute enough. Not funny. Not cute enough.
Yeah,
I kind of agree a little bit. He looks I think it's the eyes. The eyes are a little bit too bulgy.
Well, and again, we have to see how he's rendered.
How he looks in action.
If he's cute in the film, then maybe, you know, it's a couple different factors going on here.
Of course. But next up, apparently this feller of, I don't even know what the hell this is. What is this? It's I don't know if it was NASCAR or Formula, because we've been talking about F1 a lot. We're going to be talking about that later too. But apparently this fella has been promoting the hell out of Superman, and even to the point of TNT Sports Bikes are saying, hey, look up. Thoughts on this? Definitely cool, definitely nice to see for the summer of Superman. They are really going in on this damn marketing, and we thought they were lacking, but it turns out they are not. And even NASCAR is taking a bite, and TNT Sports Bikes are also taking a bit of a bite out of it. Thoughts on this?
Yeah, it's cool. Like, I agree. I have no idea who this guy is, what this particular sport is called, but hey, looks pretty badass.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's cute, but not as cute as these toys. Now everybody was asking for all these other stuff, but we're getting shelves filled. We got kaijus, we got Superman figurines, we got I want a Guy Gardner action figure. Not gonna lie, I kind of want a Guy Gardner action figure. I want that bowl cut immortalized. I want it immortalized forever and ever. And
yeah, these look pretty cool.
Even these cute crypto ones, I would take.
I mean, we're going to be seeing a lot of crypto on the shelves. I guarantee that.
Oh yeah, so much crypto. But hey, we haven't complained now, and we're not going to complain later. So, but for the final piece of the Summer of Superman news story is we talked about this yesterday, but Dan thought it was worthy enough to talk about it again. The Superman toys at Burger King. Now, I don't know what your preference is for fast food. I know you're bringing a lot of Dairy Queen on the show, but do you like Burger King? And would your 41-year-old ass go into Burger King and get a Happy Meal just so you can get one of these toys?
I mean, they look a lot like Funkos, and I do dig the style. I mean, the Green Lantern one alone, the Guy Gardner one is freaking sweet. So, I mean, and look at crypto, for goodness sakes. I might be tempted. I do like
I
their
love
nuts.
Lex Luthor in the back. I was saying this yesterday. He just looks so
angry. You know what?
He looks so angry.
No, they're super cute. I definitely dig them.
Oh yeah.
I think
they're it's great to see. Like they're cute as hell. Although Enterprising saying they're ghetto Funkos. Hello, Enterprising. He said, "Relax, everyone. I'm here."
Yeah,
yes.
they might very well be, and that's okay. But they are. I think they're.
That's
super
okay.
cute. When do we know when these are coming? When they drop?
This was taken in a Burger King, Mexico, apparently. So they might be available there, but not available here just yet. So we will obviously see. I love the fact that even in the BK Superman toys, Lex still looks at Superman with a gel stare. Oh, a jealous. Yeah, he's jelly. That's what it is. Although I agree with Elise, better than Funkos. But you know me, I hate them Funkos. But sorry, Liz. But sorry, not sorry.
Let's just don't hate, man. That's all good.
Yeah. But that is it for the regular news. But now we gotta get into them quick hits. So let's turn on that music. Let's change the banner, and we're gonna be getting into these quick hits. So first things first, we are going to be talking about this amazing F1 poster and how it homages one of the most popular and most famous and arguably one of the most greatest anime movies of all time, Akira. So whatever, I'm telling you, the Dolby posters, man, they fucking cook. And whoever's idea it was, I hope they get a raise. I hope both sides of their pillow are nice and cool, and I hope they live happy days from here on out. What are your thoughts on this? I don't know if you've seen Akira or read Akira or know anything about Akira, but I just think that's really awesome that they paid proper homage to this.
I am familiar with Akira. I thought it was pretty darn cool. It looks good. Again, the marketing teams have been hitting it out of the park, especially with the Dolby posters. So I'm a fan. It's cool vibe. It's definitely cool vibe.
I still have dreams about that Sinners poster. Goddamn, that Dolby Sinners poster is Chef's kiss. I think Rogue One still might be my favorite. That is one of the best posters I've ever seen ever. But that Sinners one is still beautiful.
Top notch.
But love to see it. I did watch the film. I will say it was I respect it a lot, but it's just one of those movies where I respect it more than I like it, because it was just, they had to stuff it with so much stuff, because that manga is this big. So you could tell that it extremely long, and they had to shove all of that into this one movie. So it is a bit overstuffed, and it's not for me, but I have major respect for Akira, and I almost kind of want to read the manga, but you know, also hello, be positive. The type of act that makes someone have a happily ever after. Yes, most definitely. But moving on to the next quick hit. Apparently Andor season 2 Emmy submissions revealed in 23 categories, including directing, writing, and 4 guest stars. And let's get rid of this thing, Variety. But apparently they were like, you know what? They were cooking, and you know, they just like, let's give this all the love it deserves, considering that it's the like greatest Star Wars thing to ever come out since Return of the Jedi. So, you know, it's got outstanding drama series, directing, writing, lead actor, supporting actress, guest actor, guest actress, voiceover performance, cinematography, fantasy sci-fi costumes, period or fantasy sci-fi makeup, hairstyling, production design, music composition, original music and lyrics, picture editing for a drama series, sound editing, sound mixing, special visual effects, stunt coordination, and stunt performance. Jesus Christ.
Choo-choo. Good for them.
They are fucking confident as hell. I hope they get something.
Let them cook.
From what I've heard, they are deserving of it. I'm probably never going to watch the show.
I know. I want to. I don't have the time, gang. I don't have the time.
But do you, even though you've never watched the show, do you still agree with this?
I think good for them if they have all that confidence, and they feel strongly about their performances and the things that they've done. Good for them. Go ahead. Good luck to them.
But apparently we got a first full look, going back to Superman, we got a first full look at Mr. Terrific's Tecraft. Thoughts on this? Does it look cool? Does it look stupid? Thoughts on this? We got a little bit of a look at the inside before when James Gunn.
I've never seen anything like this before. I didn't know it was called a Tecraft. I didn't know he had his own vessel. I guess it does make sense. I mean, yeah, it's cool. It'll make for a cool toy, that's for sure.
Although Frankie G, hello Frankie G, I don't think we've seen you here before. Welcome to the show. Apparently Andor is worth watching. I know, but I've been scorned by Star Wars in the past. So
one of these days we'll get there.
I still need to finish For All Mankind. You know, I gotta start watching that again. But this is really cool. This is really awesome for this, because you know, we've gotten bits and pieces over the course of the trailers and the behind the scenes and stuff, but this is the first proper full look, and you know what? Looks pretty great. Yeah. Looks pretty great. But going back into Star Wars with the lesser aspects of Star Wars, apparently Rian Johnson is still confident that his Star Wars trilogy is going to happen, and he wants to make it. I wouldn't rule it out happening. If I get back in the Star Wars universe someday, I'd be the happiest person. Do you think his Star Wars trilogy is ever going to happen, or do you think it's going to fall by the wayside, and would you want it to happen?
I mean, a lot of people were really disappointed with his first try there. You know, I know JJ had tried to give him some advice, and he basically told JJ to go screw. So I don't know, like, meh.
Definitely not.
I think he needs to just stick with what he's doing now, and
he's got his Knives Out trilogy, so just stick with that. And
stick with that, and you know, whatever.
Leave Star Wars to Tony Gilroy. Let's just keep it at that. But moving on to the next thing, from the world of John Wick Ballerina, that obviously everyone's calling it by that full title. Apparently there's early access on June 4th and will be in theaters on June 6th. The tickets are available now. Would you want to see early access for this, or no?
Yeah, if I can make it, if it fits in my schedule, absolutely. I like to see films as soon as humanly possible, so it kind of clears up my schedule, especially now that we're getting into the crazy movie season. If I can see one earlier, so it lightens up my weekend, beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
Same here.
I'm gonna check my calendar, and if I can make it, I'll see you there.
But yeah, June 4th is that Wednesday, if you didn't know. So they're on sale now. If you want to see it early on a Wednesday, then by all means. But going from action to back to sci-fi, apparently Doctor Who isn't faring great. There's a ratings dive, and apparently this is just supercharging rumors about the fact that it might be canceled and Ncuti Gatwa is probably going to be leaving. I know you're not a big Star Wars Doctor Who fan like me, but do you have any thoughts on this? Are you like, whatever, I don't care? Or are you like, I hope it doesn't? Or you're saying, I hope it does?
I am a Doctor Who fan. Again, there's just so much that I haven't really been series. I was surprised that in one part of this article, it made some reference to some row he had at Eurovision. I've not heard anything about that. I really don't understand what all of the controversy is. I hope it's not because it's an African-American gentleman at the helm. That's why their ratings didn't do so hot. Who knows? But it's a shame. And you know, I think it, you know, when the character was female, when they went to a female Doctor Who, everybody kind of had feelings about it, but then they seemed to really like her. And now we have this African-American Doctor Who for the first time. I was hoping for bigger things for him, but it looks like that's not going to be the case, which is a shame.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I will say the ratings, here's the thing about the ratings thing. It's
that's what they're blaming, at least for the most part.
Here's the thing, the ratings, it's a different landscape because nowadays the ratings are really hard to adjust because, okay, what's the ratings? Is it just on the BBC? Does it include BBC America? Does it include Disney Plus? Does it include this, that, and the other thing? So ratings are kind of a bit of a crapshoot nowadays. And it also doesn't help that their main source is a British tabloid. It's like this is Britain's National Enquirer, essentially. And that's
fair, yeah.
Because of that, I don't really blame. I mean, the only thing true about this article is that the Doctor Who ratings are taking a bit of a dive, but that doesn't add any traction to anything. And this is just supercharging. I personally, bullshit rumors. I'm not just saying that as a clear Doctor Who fan. I'm just saying that, like, I know because I'm in like a lot of Doctor Who fandoms. I talk to a lot of British people who are like tried and true fans of the show and who like know for a fact that the Sun is like bullshit, Daily Mail bullshit. Like they have said like that's like tabloid crap, and they then you'll charge like racist and sexist, misogynistic rumors. So I don't believe that for a second that this is I know there was the whole thing with Eurovision. I know there was the whole thing with like Ncuti Gatwa was leaving the show. We're just gonna have to wait and see.
What happened with the Eurovision? I don't know that story.
So apparently there was like he was supposed to be at Eurovision. I don't know if I think he was supposed to sing at Eurovision, but then he got canned at the last second, or he pulled out at the last second. And so a lot of people are saying, oh, because Doctor Who is in turmoil. That's it. So yeah, I don't really believe this. And so main man fan, those UK papers are awful. The Sun is booty. It's like the NY Post, terrible, so bad. And so I would say I don't believe this for a second. The only thing that's obviously believable is the ratings on the actual television side, but that doesn't bring in other ratings. And I don't think Disney Plus reveals their numbers, so they could be doing well on that for all we know. So yeah, obviously we'll just have to wait and see. Don't believe any of this for a second that it's like, oh, it's 100% canceled now. We're just gonna have to, and if it is, then whatever. It got canceled before, it can come back again. But for right now, I would say big grain of salt. So let's tear through these. Dennis 2 returns as Wing Chun master in Itman Kung Fu Legend. Thoughts?
I've never heard of this. I don't know this gentleman, or at least I don't think so. Let me do a quick Google. But cool, good for him.
Itman is, I believe, based on the guy who trained Bruce Lee, if I remember correctly.
Yes, that's what they say in the article. Again, still unfamiliar with both the gentleman and the project, so very exciting for him and for fans of the production. So great.
So Cool. I haven't seen any Itman movies. I've heard they're all fantastic, but I will try to give those a watch in the future. But apparently, your boy Seth Rogen sends a message to Daniel Day-Lewis, a hot commodity apparently now, to guest star on the Studio Season 2. Please consider a Zoom with us. We'll pitch you a good idea. Thoughts on this?
I mean, I really want to see the studio. I haven't watched yet. I've heard nothing but good things, so that would be cool. I don't know that Daniel Day-Lewis is doing a whole lot lately. I thought he had retired at some point.
He is.
Yeah, why not? Just come make a little guest spot if they've got a good role for you. Go for it. Get that check, baby.
Yep. And then two more things. Bosch spinoff Ballard, starring Maggie Q, sets premiere date at Prime Video. Did you watch Bosch or Bosch Legacy? And if you did, are you excited about this, or do you not really care?
Show comes around, I forget. I'm like, oh, that's right. There's a show called Bosch that I've never watched and never heard anything about. I didn't know there was a Bosch Legacy. I like Maggie Q, so good for her. Okay, cool. I'll never see it, but that's not her fault.
And then finally, your boy, Eddie Brock, is going to be an opium kingpin in Netflix's The Waterfront. Not on the waterfront,
right?
In the waterfront.
Right.
Yay, let's go kill things. Thoughts on this? Are you going to try to watch this or no?
Well, Holt, McCallany. He's my boy lately. He's
he's great. He was in Mission Impossible.
Everything. He's in everything, and I'm pumped for him. Good for him. Now he's getting his own show. Topher Grace seems like he's not as I don't know why Topher Grace is the headline here, because if you watch the trailer, it's very obvious that he's probably only in the show 50% of the time. It's Holt's character that this whole show is surrounding.
I mean, he's literally on the fucking picture for the article, even though it says Topher Grace.
Right,
that's show how they care about Topher Grace.
This headline. It's very much written, and they mention it in this article as well, that it seems to be very, very much along the lines of Ozark, where it's this family. They've had this long running business in their town, and their business starts to fail, so they look for alternate ways to make money and stay afloat, and they get in with this drug kingpin. And hilarity ensues. But I think this looks really good. I enjoyed Ozark, so hopefully I'll have a chance to catch this one. But Holt is the man of the hour right now, and good for him. Get that bag, Holt. Get that bag.
After they cancel Mindhunters, might as well.
He plays the exact same character in every single thing he's in, but you know what? I'm here for it. I love
it's like Frank Grillo. He just plays the same character. And you know what? That's fine with me. I don't give a shit. He's great.
He's literally
also Hosea joining in. Hello, Hosea.
I mean, we'll get there, but Holt is literally the exact same character from The Amateur to now Mission Impossible to now The Waterfront. If you watch the trailer,
Mindhunters and all that shit. Yeah,
I'm here for it. I love it. I love the man.
Yeah.
Yeah, Holt.
But unfortunately, we will have to end Quick Hits here. Sad days. But we have to thank the audience for watching. Obviously, we're not done. Definitely not going to be done. Hang on, can I find the overlay? There it is. So thanks for watching the news portion. Obviously, we're going to be getting into more stuff, but we have a lot more fun stuff to get into. And the first things first, obviously, we are going to be, and speaking of Mission Impossible, we are going to be getting into that next. Very exciting. And let's jump right into movie of the week. Hang on, let me find it. There it is. There he is. The Final Reckoning. Is it the final? Is it really? Obviously, we will, see. But now we can both talk about this, because finally a movie we can both talk about, because we both got back from seeing it today. So, ladies first, why don't you give a spoiler-free, we could do spoiler-free, whatever you're more comfortable with, but by all means.
let's do spoiler. I'm not going to spoil too much. I'm just going to talk about my initial impression of it because, again, I just saw it last night. For me, I left that theater and I was like, yep, that was a Mission Impossible movie. Pretty much par for the course. I loved Angela Bassett, girl, go ahead. But and I will say it didn't you're in the theater for 3 hours. It didn't feel that way. When that movie ended, I was like, oh, nice. It didn't feel like I was here, for a quarter of my day. But I enjoyed it. I've been hearing some criticisms that it's a lot of talking, but I'm like, again, Mission Impossible movie, that's pretty much the pacing. Lots of talking, lots of action, lots of talking, lots of action, rinse and repeat. Although I do feel this one in particular started off really quick, they got right into it right away, when normally they kind of give us some kind of setup in the beginning. They're running some kind of job to get some information or what have you. But because this was a continuation of the last film, I kind of understand why they changed it up slightly this time around. But again, I'm in the theater and I'm like, oh, okay, we're just in it now. But I enjoyed it. All of the underwater stuff was, and by design, at least me in particular, I don't know if you felt this way, John, but I saw it in IMAX and all of the underwater stuff made me so uncomfortable. And I just was, oh my God, stop, get out, just okay. So that was good. That was, you were kind of at the edge of your seat, even though we know Tom survives. We know Ethan Hunt, the hero, is going to come out of it. We know it's all going to have a happy ending at the end. The only thing for me, again, every movie, well, at least within the last couple of films, they always have that one big stunt that they talk up and they build up and they give you a lot of attention to. So they kept talking about the airplane scene, the two planes where he jumps from one plane to the other.
Whoa.
For me,
wow, dude from Severance is fucking killing it. God damn, look at that dude.
He was excellent in that.
I loved him in this movie, but I'll get to my review
in this film. I loved him in this film. He was great. And I will say it was interesting to me because they've had Hannah Waddingham doing a lot of the the talk show circuits and stuff. And so I thought she was going to be in this film a heck of a lot more than she is. She's really only been in it. She was in it for all of 8 minutes. And I was like, why are they? But star power, everybody loves her. She's amazing. Ted Lasso. So go ahead. I guess use Hannah, and if Hannah's willing to be used, good for her. But no, this gentleman, I don't know his name. I'm sorry, but he was in the film.
Tremel Tillman. Tremel Tillman. I know he's in Severance.
What a name! What a name! Go ahead, Tremel.
I don't know, not as good as Bledsoe. Fuck me. Yeah. I was like, I'm like, is that a fake name? And no, that was his name in the movie. I'm like, damn, that's a fucking cool name.
is a football player. That is a real.
Maybe it was a reference to him. I don't know.
Maybe it was. But anyway, so as I was saying, for me, when it finally came to the big plane scene where Tom jumps from one biplane to the other biplane, and it was a little too long. Again, I don't know how you feel about it, John. That scene was.
I'm just I think we just need to do this for the rest of the review, and then I think we would get immediately 5,000 views.
He looked just as slick in the submarine as well. I was like, yes, sir.
That mustache.
All aboard. Yes, sir.
Anyway.
Absolutely. Anyway. Oh, Hannah.
Sorry.
Look at that. Again, the plane scene where he jumps from one plane to the other plane. For me, that dragged on a little too long. I understand it's really important that, they really want to emphasize Tom did all of this himself. He had little to no safety gear. Genuine. Put that on. Give me that poster.
Right over your bed, right, Liz?
I would hang it up right here in a place of honor. Let's calm down. However, the plane scene went on way too long. And it got, Nick, but it got to the point where I was like, oh, yep. Okay. He's flipping him around again. All right. There he is swinging off the plane again. Yep. Okay. Another angle of Tom's. Now he's swinging from his ankles. Now he's hanging from his legs. We get it, Tom. It's cool. And listen, this is coming from a 41-year-old fat gal that's riddled with arthritis. Okay. I know I'll never be able to do any of the physical things that Tom Cruise does. I understand that he does it better than anybody. I understand that he's passionate. He puts the hard work into it. That's great. But for me, it was just get in the plane or do what you again. land the plane. That's where I was coming from in the theater. I still enjoyed it. I thought it was great. I loved how everybody, banded together like they do as the MI team. I still enjoyed it. Again, don't get me wrong. I did enjoy the film. Again, that 3 hours went by like that. But to me, it was your run-of-the-mill, average, typical Mission Impossible. I genuinely feel like the last film, the stunt he did with the motorcycle going off the mountain and then parachuting down the cliff face was way cooler, and they definitely marketed the heck out of that. They didn't really market his plane stunts too much this time around. They just, again, they put it on the poster. You see it in the trailer. That's about it. But, what is just...
We're going to be getting into that after my review.
So that's it for me. I'm going to land the plane myself, and I would
give Dan puts on the music.
I know.
No shit.
But you know what? I'll give it an 8.5 out of 10. I still did really enjoy it.
Yes. Anyway, okay, Dan, you could fucking turn off the music.
Yeah, Dan, rude. You haven't been here for half.
Now I'm gonna get into my review. I'll pull up the Rotten Tomatoes. So for me personally, I'm much in agreement with Lizz here. I thought it was great. I thought it was better than Dead Reckoning. I think Dead Reckoning was really good when I saw it, and then it just was like, oh, that was actually kind of forgettable. Like, it was like a decent movie, but it wasn't like great. It's probably my second least favorite of the franchise, but this I felt was way better for me personally. So I first things first, I think all the acting from everyone was phenomenal. I thought Tom Cruise probably gives like the most emotional performance here as Ethan Hunt, which says a lot for him. I know he's a tremendous actor, but we kind of forget, oh yeah, this guy can actually act. Damn, Jesus Christ, Haley Atwell, don't kill your baby. But wow. I mean, in terms of I think none of the acting was like Angela Bassett, Hannah Waddingham, Nick Offerman, Holt McCallany, as we were just talking about, Haley Atwell, Palm Clemente, Ving Rhames, Simon Pegg, like everybody was in this damn movie. And so I'm gonna get into that much later. Jesus Christ. But I think in terms of the writing of the characters, they could have been a lot better. Like for me personally, I think Palm Clemente and Haley Atwell were kind of underwritten a little bit. Like we hoped that like Haley Atwell would have a little bit of a bigger role, but she's kind of just there a little bit. I still liked her. I mean, Haley Atwell is a very good actress, so like she still does a good job here. Same with Palm Clemente in her native language, so that was really cool to see. But I think, and I feel like S.I. Morales was very undercooked as the villain. He just seemed like a plot device for and the entity felt like the real villain, and I mean it was, and he was just kind of a plot device to get the entity from like one point to another to get them to fight it properly. And so I felt that and because that he's kind of a one-dimensional villain. I mean, like if we look at some of the villains of this franchise, a lot of them are real, even in some of the bad ones where like Dougray Scott and Philip Seymour Hoffman, and Jean Reno and John Voight, Sean something, the redheaded guy from Rogue Nation, Henry Cavill, like they were all way better and way more interesting. This guy, like S.I. Morales is like a great actor. Like dude's amazing, but like he was just like, especially in the biplane sequence, he was like, I'm gonna beat you, Tom Cruise. Like I'm like, bro, like dude, like, have some class, at least a little bit. But I felt that was weird. I mean, the stunts were amazing. I felt that I didn't feel the plot was a lot of people said it's very convoluted and confusing. I don't think it was convoluted and confusing. I felt that there's a lot of movies in this franchise that were very convoluted. I don't think this one was. I would say Rogue Nation and to a lesser extent Dead Reckoning felt more convoluted than this one was. but I liked how it does reference older films, mainly the first and third ones. Those are the biggest ones, but they still reference the second one, the fourth one, the fifth one, and the sixth one, and obviously the seventh one, because this is technically the part 2 of the last movie. So there's that as well. I felt a lot of the editing in the first 45 minutes to half to hour it was a bit choppy. It was a little bit choppy. It felt awkward.
The pacing was weird.
It was, I will say, for the most part, it was well paced, but there was a lot of like really haphazard editing in like that first like hour or so, and it felt very weird and awkward. So with that, I was like, huh, that's weird. But then it like kind of mellows it out. I liked how the guy from the first movie, Langley, comes back. I thought that was interesting.
Spoiler!
I mean, we're getting into spoilers here. I'm not gonna mention like I was literally going through the posters and he shows up. I'm not gonna say what happens to him,
that's
but
fair.
Like,
that's fair.
He does show up, and I thought that was an interesting note. I do fully agree the biplane sequence went on for way fucking too long. Like, I was like, aren't they on like a 30-minute time limit? This is like an hour of my time. Like, you needed to rein it in, just like clean it up a little bit, and it should have been a lot better paced.
No, but I agree what you're saying about Issei, because same thing. So again, if we are going to talk about a spoiler, at one point when they're fighting, Ethan breaks his arm and he's I was like, bro, like, come on, because the entire time he's this polished, classy, I just bring me the entity and then then he breaks his arm, like, okay,
yeah, bro, calm down.
We need to.
I love some diverting of certain tropes here and there, and then I feel like it falls into the traps that like Infinity War kind of fell into, where it was like, even for a Mission Impossible movie, the exposition got a little bit daunting after a while. It's like there was like 5 exposition scenes in this movie. I'm like, okay, is this like Avengers Infinity War? Because this is too much. Because a lot of that movie is like explaining things that happened or will happen. That's what this kind of felt like.
About like every Mission Impossible movie, though.
It does, but there's usually 1, maybe 2 expository scenes. There were like 5 in this movie.
Yeah.
I'm like, guys, calm down.
Well, and again, I understand that the title is Mission Impossible. It is literally the impossible mission force. But the fact that like throughout this film, they were like, the timing has to be exactly right. They have to meet at the exact right location at the exact time. And it was literally like every single task they had to do had to be. And I was like, okay, like there can't be any margin for error. There can't be any wiggle room. But again, that's why it's Mission Impossible, I guess. So
yeah, so it does go a bit overboard with some things, but with how this is like apparently the last entry, I think that it is a little bit like wiggle room of like, I think that's okay. Like I mean, a lot of it is like plot conveniences, but the thing is, it's a little bit forgivable. I still am not a huge fan of plot conveniences, and even I was rolling my eyes at a bit of it. But then like the stunts and the intrigue of like the AI was definitely really. Also, hello Antonio, very nice to see you.
I felt exactly the same way I felt about was it Dark Knight Rises? Was that the final one with Christian Bale?
Yeah.
I personally love it when a series is wrapped up in a neat, perfect little bow. And I felt that way leaving this film. This is the final reckoning. We will not be seeing Ethan.
God knows they let us know like 3 times. They say this is your reckoning, Tom Cruise.
Right. So I will give them that they wrapped it up nicely while, like you said, while pulling from the other films. Again, we have a nod to the very first film. We have a nod to the third film. We do have different elements that come in that wrap it all up and bring everything together, which I really, really really loved. I'm just a sucker for things like that. I know some people think it's pandering, some people think it's ridiculous or unoriginal, but I thought it was pretty great, and it was a really solid. At least the writing and the plot, they did a good job on bringing everybody in for this final.
I agree. I think this movie has like a lot going for it, and I think it, for the most part, it, for lack of a better term, lands the plane. I do think it does, in fact, do that, and I think now this is maybe a bit of a spoiler, because we will be doing an official tier list, but this is before. We are going to try and do a tier list of Mission Impossible, not the upcoming week, but maybe because we do have something else in mind. But the next week, we're going to try and do a Mission Impossible tier list. But I am going to rewatch all of them because it's been a long time since I watched all of them.
I started rewatching them too.
But this is my letterbox. You can follow me. It's my username is Batman89, also John.
It's called what?
But
what's
this
it called?
Batman89.
No. What is the program called? The list thing called?
It's Letterboxd.
Oh, I thought you said Litterbox. I was like, oh, all right. Letterbox.
But this is my official ranking. If I had to, I would say I would probably change Ghost Protocol in the first mission. I would say Mission Impossible, the first one, is probably the best one, although Ghost Protocol is probably my favorite. But I would, so for me, it ranks like in the top 4 instead of the bottom 4. I mean, the only bad Mission Impossible movie is MI2. But Dead Reckoning and Rogue Nation, I think Dead Reckoning was pretty weak. Mission Impossible 3 is fun, but the mystery box crap was really annoying. Although I love the fact that this movie relies on J.J. Abrams' lack of like explaining his mystery box bullshit, because they're like, we can do anything with that rabbit's foot. Fuck it, insert this thing here, and this is what actually happened. Thanks, J.J. Abrams' shitty writing. Anyway, and I still find Rogue Nation to be a little bit overrated, even though I think it's an overall great film. But yeah, this is my ranking of the Mission Impossible movies. If you were so curious, you can follow me on Letterboxd. Anyway, I know a couple of you do. But in terms of, in regards to other entries in the franchise, this is the Rotten Tomatoes score, and it is apparently the 5th best, which makes sense, because a lot of people love Ghost Protocol and Fallout and Rogue Nation. So I mean, it's kind of a shame that the first movie is a bit like kind of the cool to hate, or like an underrated entry, because the first Mission Impossible was so fucking good, because it's like a true blue spy movie. It's a true blue espionage movie. But I think all of them, except the second one, are great in their own right. Although Mission Impossible, I will say the best thing about Mission Impossible 2, the greatest thing it did was gave us Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, because originally Dougray Scott was supposed to be Wolverine, but due to the fact that Mission Impossible 2 went overboard, went over schedule, he had to pull out of X-Men, and they had to get a last-minute addition, which initially was Russell Crowe, but he said no, and then was like, yeah, but I know this guy, Hugh Jackman, who's actually really good, and we got Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. So that's the greatest thing Mission Impossible 2 ever did, was give us Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. But outside of that, it can kind of fuck off. But with that, I think, would you agree with this ranking, or would you like change some things, even though it is the official Rotten Tomatoes score?
I mean, MI2, no surprise to anyone. I think everybody feels that way. I'm surprised that the first film had such a low ranking, just because I always feel like the first films kind of set the tone for the rest. Obviously, they introduce us to the characters, they give it, they kind of set the tone for how the other films are going to be. But yeah, I think that's pretty good. I liked the final reckoning more than where it's ranked here, but
yes, I mean, to be fair, the audience score gave it a way higher. It's at a 92 for the popcorn meter. So, But yeah, I mean, I will. I don't think it's overrated. It is my personal favorite entry. I will agree the villain was a little bland. But everything else was so good that I'm like kind of overlooked that. But I will say I don't even remember the villain from Ghost Protocol. I just remember everything else was fucking fantastic. I remember Paula Patton and then Simon Pegg coming back and all that. But yeah, apparently Mission Impossible gave us the BMW i8 car. Okay. Dead Reckoning should be last awful film. I don't know, bro. Have you seen Mission Impossible 2? That was bad. I mean, Fallout was pretty fucking great. But although that is fair because you have a gigantic boner for Henry Cavill, so like that's kind of a par for the course.
I mean, who?
I mean, if you're a lesbian, maybe. I don't know.
I feel like.
Anyway, let's not get into that. But yeah, this is all the Rotten Tomatoes stuff for Mission Impossible. This is probably one of the most like in terms of like critical, probably the most successful franchise because it only has like one bad entry, and the rest of them are like pretty damn good, like ranging from good to great to amazing. So it is actually really funny. Yes, I do remember that. Although it is really funny, one of the people I follow on Letterboxd gave Final Reckoning a 2 out of 5, yet he gave Mission Impossible 2 a 4 out of 5. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. He's always like a major contrarian. So I'm like, all right, yeah, that's part of the course. So but apparently with going on the Mission Impossible train, we're gonna do this for a couple more minutes, then we'll head out of movie of the week. But Tom Cruise's Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning secures China release despite trade tensions. Is this a surprise for you, or are you like, nah, Chinese love action movies like this, so that's
Chinese love Tom Cruise. They love action movies. This doesn't surprise me at all. I don't expect this, whatever it is, are we calling it tariffs, or whatever we're calling this, I don't think it really is going to affect any of these major blockbuster films, especially the way our government keeps flip-flopping between how they're going to punish people. So I don't know. I'm not going to get into that. But no, it doesn't surprise me at all that China did get it out.
Yeah. Although you could definitely tell Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning was a huge, huge fantasy because it had a competent president. But
not only a competent president, but spoiler alert, a female African-American president.
I think they were hoping for another way of going in the history of things, but it didn't turn out that way. Anyway, late night, apparently, Tonight Show and Jimmy Fallon and The Roots, in addition to Tom Cruise, did the they did the lip thing where it was like they sing the theme, which is cool, cute, I guess, but kind of stupid. Anyway, moving on to the next and final thing, your favorite, the future of Tom Cruise movies. Even though you think you should probably, even though you think Tom Cruise shouldn't leave the house ever again after Final Reckoning, these are apparently all of his future films in the coming years. Apparently, he's gonna be teaming up for Alejandro G. Iñárritu for a film next year, a film called Broadsword, where apparently they're planning definitely something major with apparently Henry Cavill. But the Gauntlet with apparently Scarlett Johansson. Oh yes, the Joseph Kosinski SpaceX Tom Cruise project. Or no, it was Doug Liman. Sorry, not Joseph Kosinski. Doug Liman. So that's interesting. Hopefully we can finally get that goddamn Edge of Tomorrow sequel we've been waiting over a fucking decade for. But like, god damn it. Come on. And then, Top Gun 3. I think this was confirmed though, that Top Gun 3 is in fact happening. But we got a lot of Tom Cruise in the future. Till he's 100. Not till he's 90, till he's 100. He did say.
It's not that the man can never leave the house, but he can only leave the house to do films like this. And all of those seem to fall under the same genre. So I'm fine with it. He does action very well. I will say, I was just saying this to a friend the other day, and I know Dan wants us to get off this topic at this point, but as far as a multimillionaire, billionaire is concerned, he is at least doing it right. He learns all of these new things. He tries to better himself physically, mentally, see what he's capable of. He puts in the work. So you know what? At the very least, I'll give it to Tom Cruise there. He's still a terrible human being, but good for him. Good for him. So go ahead, Tom. There's a lot worse things you could be doing with your millions.
Yes. But somebody actually did have a quick question. Who was the star of the Mission Impossible TV series? Leonard Nimoy was in it. I think Martin Landau was in it, and Peter Graves was the character that John Voight ended up playing in the first Mission Impossible, because there was more of a connection between the TV series and the movies, because John Voight plays Peter Graves' character. They asked Peter Graves to come back, but when it was revealed that he was going to be the villain, he was like, "No, fuck you. That's my character would never do that. I'm not coming back." So they had to recast him with John Voight. So yeah, that's that was that whole thing. That's great. He's going to be doing something with Henry Cavill. I don't care what anyone says. I like The Last Time Right. Never seen it, so I don't know.
I like The Last Time Right. Yeah.
I again never seen it, so I don't know.
Very along the lines of Last of the Mohicans. So
sure, interesting. Speaking of Daniel Day-Lewis, but that is it for movie of the week. We will be getting into Elizabeth left for a little second, but we will be getting into a lot of more fun stuff. So thank you for watching Movie of the Week. We will be getting into into MCU Weekly next and DCU Daily and preview for next week in regards to the movies we will be talking about. So if you will, please join us for that. But make sure to like, make sure to comment, make sure to subscribe, because we love and appreciate all of you, and we want to make sure that we're giving you the best content, and if you're liking that content, please like us back. Maybe a comment, maybe whatever you need to do. But let's move on to Liz's favorite topic, MCU Weekly, because she's the biggest MCU stan here. So we gotta be talking about that. But first things first, in terms of MCU Weekly, we are talking about apparently Disney has removed 3 Marvel Studios movies from the 2026 and 2027 release calendar that isn't Blade. They already got rid of Blade. So apparently, I'm sorry, it's low-hanging fruit at this point. We got to make fun of Blade, because remember, there's only one Blade. There's only ever going to be one Blade, and his name is not Mahershala Ali. Sorry, buddy. But apparently they removed a bunch of stuff from these movies. And now, in terms of what has been plucked out of the schedule, I mean, as we all know, they recently delayed the much to the Avengers films, but apparently they got rid of 3. They're obviously these were unknown. It was only 3 undated, unknown, untitled Marvel movies. Now, does this show any credence to anything other than supporting the claims of what Bob Iger and Kevin Feige have said in the past, that they're going to try and focus more on quality rather than quantity? Or do you think this is a more problematic way of things, like, oh no, Marvel is reaching the bad points?
No, that's my takeaway. That's how I read it, especially, because at some point they talk about how, the 2 new Avengers films were already pushed back by 6 months apiece. So I think they just kind of rethought the strategy and the schedule and said, you know what, let's just focus on the projects that are going to be releasing first, what we need to get out there, what we've already started marketing, and we'll get to the other ones when we've got the time and can focus and give them the proper attention. So no, it doesn't raise any alarm bells really for me. I think they're just trying to be more realistic about things.
Yeah. I mean, Be Positive was saying Armor Wars was canceled with Don Cheadle. I don't know if it's 100% canceled, but
no one really wanted it though. So
I mean, nobody really cares about it. So
yeah.
So Kevin Davis saying this is all to course correct to please fans and about making money. Maybe, hopefully, enterprising.
It's gonna make money, so the two kind of go hand in hand, you know.
And then they said, I hope one of them is not Black Panther because they should let Ryan finish his story. Considering what he's done with Sinners, I don't think they're letting Ryan Coogler go. I think they're going to let him finish whatever he needs to finish. They're like, you get carte blanche. You get to do whatever the hell you want. So maybe, and then maybe they'll give him Blade finally, because, you know, that was apparently supposed to be a period piece vampire movie, and look what he did with a period piece vampire movie. So
I also think they learned their lesson with James Gunn. Like they're not going to let Ryan go and then go be successful on, you know, with their rivals. So
yes, that is very true. But apparently there is some insiders with grain of salt time, big old grain of salt time. But apparently Disney insiders confirm why Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars got delayed. Apparently, they explained to Deadline that this delay gives Marvel extra time to execute its massive vision. Additionally, they discuss how the new movie's December release dates are strategic, noting how Spider-Man No Way Home found enormous success with a holiday season debut on December 17th, 2021. I think that's mainly because it's Spider-Man and people will love Spider-Man no matter what, but that's beside the point. Now, do you agree with this, or do you think I again ask a similar question? Do you think this is true? This is them just being like, hey, we need more time. Now that they see what an extra year does with post-production with Superman, with those visual effects, how good those look. Now they're like, okay, this is kind of too late for Fantastic Four. Let's try to do this for Avengers, Doomsday, and Secret Wars. Or do you think it's a more problematic sort of thing?
No, again, I think they're trying to be smarter about the way they plan things. They're trying not to rush stuff. Again, I've said it before, as much as I do love Marvel, I'm very happy with the majority of the things they've put out. They have put out some stinkers, they have rushed the gun. And again, they've created a problem for themselves when they put out so many different projects across various platforms, when they essentially force their audiences to go to the theater, to download a streaming service, to have to absorb all of this stuff in order to catch up and kind of know exactly what the heck they're talking about in half of these productions. So no, I think they're just being smarter about it this time around, and it'll pay off for them just like it did in the past. So good for them, and good for us as fans too.
But I agree. I think I mean, I'm still not going to see it, but I'm going to say good for them to try and at least focus on the quality, focus on the things that people want to see, and hopefully the fans will be happy with this. And they're going to be getting all the money because X-Men is coming back, Robert Downey's coming back, Chris Evans is coming back. They're all coming back, and then it'll make $3 billion, and then everyone's going to jizz in their pants in the theater. So, going from jizzing in your pants to the theater to not giving a fuck, Ironheart. Apparently, Ironheart star Dominique Thor distanced herself from Iron Man comparisons in new interview. Apparently, a lot of people were talking about how, people are kind of making fun of like, how I'm going to be iconic. And then, but yet you're kind of taking another iconic look and making it your own. So not really iconic, but she had something to say. There's a clear understanding that she's not Tony Stark. She does not have $1 billion at her disposal. She does not have the resources. She doesn't have the mentorship or the guidance. So she was talking about how, she is her own character. She is, she just shares a name, kind of shares a backstory, and kind of shares the look. But, she doesn't have the resources. Except, when Tony Stark didn't have the fucking resources and made a goddamn, Tony Stark built this in a cave with a pile of scraps. That was the whole fucking point of the first movie.
Yeah, but
strip away the character of everything he was, so for him to recognize what he had and then change his ways to become a better man. But like, fuck knowing your Marvel history and just, trying to be this.
But again, he already had the education, he had the background, he had the skills, he had the money, he had the knowledge, he had the know-how. I understand where she's coming from and what she's saying. I think this headline is very deceiving because when I first read it, I was like, your character literally drew inspiration from Iron Man in order to create the suit that she made. And but when you actually break it down and you read what she has to say about it, I understand where she's coming from.
I get it.
But regardless, everybody's going to continue to make that comparison no matter what, because again, look at her suit. Look at look at the way the suit functions. It's very similar to that of the Iron Man suit, even if it's a little clunkier. It looked kind of like the Warhammer suit, but they're trying to market this show that they know nobody is interested in, and so far they're not doing a great job with it.
They're not doing a great. I mean, literally posting the trailer 3 hours before the Superman trailer comes out, not the best look and not the best confidence for your show. But she was also saying, coming off the heels of this super vulnerable experience with her having been imprisoned, again, literally the same thing happened to Iron Man, that vulnerability presents a very tender opportunity for Riri to make a powerful and impactful decision about how her genius will impact the world around her. Don't worry. We know about her genius. Pretty much every fucking character in the trailer said how much of a genius she was. So we trust us. We know you're a genius. But she again further said, Anthony Ramos was talking about, the Hood, the original name for Green Arrow and Arrow. I know it was a character before that. I'm just making a joke. But he was saying he couldn't be farther apart from Riri. She's a very logical, show me the facts and run me the numbers person. What does it look like for someone like the Hood to enter her sphere now where she is vulnerable and reflecting? It does set the stage for a very interesting journey ahead to see the people who pop up as she's working to get those answers and what the scale of their influence can be, if any. So, I mean, will it be a good show? Maybe, maybe not. I've said many times, I only care about Spider-Man and Fantastic Four, and if James Gunn ever comes back, probably not. But those are the only two things I care about. I care about Spider-Man and Fantastic Four, and that's it, because I want to see if they can actually get Fantastic Four right, and I love Spider-Man. So I'm not really going to be giving this watch. Nothing against her, nothing against the character. I'm not interested in any characters or any other projects coming from Marvel, because it's just like I'm indifferent about all. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I'm just indifferent about it. So I mean, I hope the show is good. I hope that she can get over this hump, and hopefully she can get over the lack of confidence that Marvel clearly has in this product, because releasing half of your season in one day is not the best look. Releasing the trailer the same day as Superman's trailer, also not a great look. And the fact that she's a black woman also doesn't help, with all the douchebags out there that are going to refuse to watch this because of what she looks like. That doesn't help matters either. And the fact she's sharing a name with Iron Man and having a similar suit really doesn't help. So this is an uphill battle, and I don't think she's ever going to make it to the top, which is unfortunate, because I've heard Riri Williams is a great character in the comics. And she was kind of suffering what Miles Morales and Kamala Khan did in the comics at first, but then they eventually came into their own, became their own characters, and were, really good in their own right. So I wish her the best. I wish the show the best, but I personally don't care enough about most Marvel products nowadays. But I don't see this ending well, unfortunately, for her and this character. But again, wish her the best. But that's just the unfortunate reality.
She'll end up in the third Black Panther film at least, and get a little redemption, and then maybe fans will start to kind of pay more attention to her character. But yeah, unfortunately, I just don't think this show is going to get the foot traffic that they were, I guess, hoping for. I don't even know what their expectations were, quite frankly.
I mean, from what I remember, they were talking about that this was greenlit in the Bob Chapek era, which is not a great era, because a lot of movies that have been tanking at the box office or tanking on Disney Plus haven't been doing well. So it kind of sort of makes sense that they're kind of just throwing this under the rug while focusing on the projects that Bob Iger came back to and really pushing those. So like Deadpool and Wolverine, Thunderbolts, obviously these two Avengers movies, Fantastic Four, like all that stuff, and really changing like that, so it reflects what they want to do, and Thunderbolts being like this new dawn for them and all that, and Ironheart is just kind of being shat out on Disney Plus, which is a shame because I've heard she's a great character. So, but that is it for MCU Weekly. But we are going to be getting into now DCU Daily. So, hello guys, welcome back to DCU Daily. I'm John. Very nice to meet you. And this is Liz. She's also nice to meet you. But hello. I don't know why I'm talking like this. But I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, but let's move on to the first bit of DCU news. Apparently, your boy James Gunn reportedly open to bring back more Zack Snyder era DC actors. So, I mean, we've talked about many a times that the initial 3 actors that were coming back for the new DCU were just Peacemaker, Amanda Waller, and Blue Beetle. That was it. But now it seems like there might be a few more coming back. I mean, we know Joel Kinnaman is coming back. He's going to be showing up in Peacemaker in either a flashback or something else. And then the supporting characters of Peacemaker, you have Vigilante, and all those characters are coming back in Peacemaker. So we got tons and tons of these characters coming back. So you know what? James Gunn's like, screw it. Hell, we're bringing back more. And he was speaking of mainly with an interview in Variety, actor Jai Courtney revealed that despite his character Captain Boomerang's death in the Suicide Squad, Gunn told him that these rules don't really apply in the DCU. According to Courtney, Gunn hinted that Boomerang's demise doesn't necessarily mean he's gone for good. Just because he dies doesn't mean he's gone forever, right? Because comics, nobody stays dead. Not even the Waynes, not even Uncle Ben, not even Gwen Stacy. They're bringing her back too. So he was saying, I was like, come on, man, Boomerang is cool. And James is like, these rules don't really apply. Just because he dies here doesn't mean it's gone forever, right? And I was like, hell yeah. So I have hope. Somewhere in the back of my mind, there's a prayer that we'll see more of Boomerang one day. So with that, would you want to see Jai Courtney come back as Captain Boomerang? Or do you have a wish list of other actors that appeared in the DCU, EU, to come back into the DCU?
I mean, I like Boomerang a lot. I like that actor a lot. So I would love to see him some more. The thing that I read this headline and I was like, still won't appeal to the Snyder fans. And
we knew that.
They're still going to be mad about it, but whatever.
Also, hi TC24.
Bye. I think it was a good. I think it's a good idea. It's a good move to, again, me, I'm a big fan of continuity. I'm a big fan of kind of, merging everybody into the same storyline and the same universe. So if he can pull it off successfly, and if it makes sense for whatever projects he includes them all in, then why not? Why not?
But just some geek guys saying, why didn't he just bring back Henry and Ben is beyond me, because Ben is in his 50s and Henry is in his 40s. So they wanted somebody younger to come in. And it's more than likely that Hal Jordan is probably going to get killed by the end of the first Lantern season. So, and Jon Stewart's going to be the young guy to take the reins. So, that's just how it is. Although Jose is saying, Jai Courtney can't act like at all. I don't know. I've seen him in stuff that's like, when you look at his stuff, like Terminator Genesis and A Good Day to Die Hard, it seems like the fucker can't act. But honestly, I'm stoked for Dangerous Animals. That looks really fucking good, and I'm gonna hopefully try to see that in the theater before it gets yanked after 2 days. But people were talking about enterprising DC Tim. I can see some of the Shazam or Aquaman actors could be used. Not Zachary Levi. Nobody's touching him with a 39.5-foot pole. But Margot with a better Joker and Jack Dylan Grazer as Tim Drake. Honestly, love to see the latter. Margot can get kicked to the curb because fuck Harley Quinn, and not in the good way. So let's keep her out of this shit. But the Suicide Squad is DCEU. Yes, we did know that. It is DCEU with the exception of a couple things here and there. but it's just like James Gunn's like, it's just shut the fuck up about the continuity. I don't give a shit. I'm just gonna make my movies. Y'all could shut the fuck up about it. Goddamn. Just I need sleep. I need sleep. Y'all can shut the hell up. Honestly, yeah, he kind of does. Bro needs to get on his knees and just beg, and we're not talking about praying. But you know, that's how it be. Although Antonio says it was smart not to bring Henry Cavill in to be a Superman because the backlash would have been there just like it is now. I would agree with that. But I could see a whole bunch of other people come back. I mean, obviously the controversial people ain't coming back like Will Smith and Zachary Levi. But I still kind of want to see Zachary Levi. I still kind of want. He was so good. I don't care what anybody says. I love those movies. I fucking love Zachary Levi in those movies. I don't like him as a person. I just like him in those movies, and that's all I care about. You know.
Yeah. Agreed.
But whatever it is, I hope they bring back all the best ones and keep the worst ones in the curb. But still talking about James Gunn. Sorry, geeky guy, but we're still talking about James Gunn. Apparently, he has a very blunt response to criticism of his Superman movie. So responding to one user on the thread who pointed out that people are so weird about Superman online, he said, "Tell me about it." And continuing on that thread, another follower suggested that these fans are simply a loud minority of people. The DC studio boss was in agreement, claiming the backlash is coming from a very, very much the minority and uproarious and unkind, to say the least. All the insanity the internet public discourse has. He explained that this applies to any public figures. It is really important to see things in context and understands the statistics and data. I think that's true of anyone in the public eye. It's really important to see things in context and all that. I'd alter moves I made this morning, my friend, much less over the past 2 years. So obviously have some regrets, have some mistakes, but that's part of being human. But people will just focus on the mistakes instead of focusing on the positives. But that's just how it be. What are your thoughts on the things James Gunn's been saying with the backlash? Do you agree with everything, or do you think he's acting like a crybaby? I don't know why you would think that.
No, essentially, he's just saying you're not going to please everybody. I think he knew that going into it. I think he knew, again, with all the Snyder Bros, he knew that he was going to have problems going, especially from Marvel to DC. So, and again, such an iconic character as Superman. Anytime anybody touches Superman or Batman for that matter, people have something to say about it. So, I think he's trying to be as
in
open.
What fucking I'm sorry. In what universe is that suit bad? Neither suit is. Those were perfect suits. I don't know what crack you're smoking. I don't want it because I don't want that crack. Fucking,
I'm not.
Come on.
Who
man.
said something about a suit? I didn't see it.
Jose was saying the Shazam suit because we were talking about Zachary Levi for a hot sec.
I like that.
That's the worst suit, bruh.
Yeah, no,
Anyway, sorry, Liz.
I think he's trying to be honest and diplomatic in his response, but at the end of the day, he knows haters are going to hate. So he's got to just move on with his life, and just, he's proud of the film. He's proud of the actors. He's proud of where things are going for DC. So you know what? It is what it is. I agree.
Who would know? Stop. Get the fuck out of here. We don't need Amber Turd to fucking come back as Mara. Gross. Get that the fuck. Teresa Palmer. Boom. Get her as Mara. Way fucking better. Anywho. So I mean Enterprise's agreement. Very few people wanted the job before Gunn took it because it was like a huge undertaking. You had to reboot this whole thing. You had this, that, and the other thing to fucking. You had like all this debt, all this backlash, all this crap, all this baggage to deal with. And he's like, you know what? Oh no, I'm the new Five Ash. What have I done? No, it's okay. You're not the new Five Ash. You actually like things, Jose. Bro, you got the Superman logo as your profile picture. You're not Five Ash. It's okay. We still love you. Yeah, I mean, I agree with his statements. I think he's just, again, trying to be diplomatic about it all and just wants what's best for his movie and his upcoming universe. So, I agree with all that. Way to go, James Gunn. But next thing we got, it's going to be a lot of James Gunn talk today. A lot of James Gunn talk. But he was saying, he posted this image a few days ago, about a week ago, talking about Pa and Ma Kent. They were in the most recent trailer, and he was like talking about, oh, the moral. Also, I love his. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm loving this picture of his dog, like, because that looks like Ozu, and holding a boombox. That's great. Sorry. Anyway, but he was talking about Ma and Pa Kent being the moral compass and all that for Superman. Your actions, your choices, that's what makes you who you are. And Lee Pace Batman, who does some reporting around it, this whole thing, but he was saying not too difficult, although we did audition a lot of people for Pa, but Pruitt was someone I had actually thought of while writing, so it seemed like a natural choice. We were spoiled with good choices for Ma, but at the end of the day, Neva killed it. Like with Clark and Lois, we screen tested them together. And oh, hey, that's a buddy of mine. Crypto Freak 1984. I know who you are. But nice to have you on the podcast. But I've loved what they've shown us. Yes, thank you, Hosea. But thoughts on this whole thing? Are you excited to see more lesser names as Ma and Pa Kent after big names like Kevin Costner and Diane Lane? Or you think, no, they can't hold a candle to them?
No, I mean, quite frankly, whoever plays those roles doesn't really matter to me. The performance, I think, is the most important, especially at the end of the day. They might be bigger in this story than they have been in previous, but they're just kind of a side characters, not to denigrate them in any way, but no, I don't have one feeling one way or another about it, frankly. So, okay.
Yeah, but I think when I heard Pruitt Taylor Vince, I remembered him from Jacob's Ladder, and I know Neva Howell hasn't really been in a ton. He kind of does this like more of like a side thing, but it's amazing how I do this thing as a side thing, but I got cast in a Superman movie, so like I'm winning. So that's great. Absolutely love to see it. Next up, apparently, the new DC Studios Showcase podcast. Again, guys, Dan and I were right here. Why didn't you hire us? I'm just saying. But apparently, Isabella Merced and Nathan Fillion were on the newest episode. So obviously, you can watch this on YouTube and Max. So if you have either of those things, then you can go and watch those. But they were talking about their roles, talking about their whole things with the characters and the story of Superman. Obviously, not revealing too much, but Hosea saying it was a great listen. Thank you, Dan. But do you catch this podcast, or do you stick to only true crime podcasts?
I don't do true crime podcasts either, but no,
I did
not.
I just assume. Sorry, it's just a rough assumption. White women just listen to true crime podcasts, so that's what I assume.
No. Anyway, no, I've never heard of this before. I mean, it's cool. I like both of them, so that's cool. And cool. I hope the fans enjoy it. It's not.
I mean, I don't listen to it either, but awesome. Great.
Yeah.
Way to go. Anyway, so yeah, showing off we talked about the motion poster yesterday, how we see Clark Kent transforming into Superman. Very great, very cool poster. But now we kind of just have like a interesting, I don't know if this is a Photoshop job or official like new Superman image, but definitely looking great. That motion poster was really awesome. So very nice to see. I guess so. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, what? But yeah, lovely to see. We need to get back on your podcast now. Actually, try not to curse.
Yeah.
Available where you can find all your podcasts. There it is. Yay! Spotify and YouTube and Audible.
Everywhere you consume Audible content, including Audible.
Yeah. I think that he'll probably be on it. He either was already on, or he might be on it like closer to when the film is coming out, or after the film, so he can talk about it proper. But I think James Gunn has a there's a reason they call him James Gunn, because he has a gun back to everyone's fucking head so they don't talk about the movie too goddamn much. He's like, if you fucking ruin anything, I will end you. So, yeah, there you go. Dan agreeing with me, probably closer to movie release. Bro, where are you? Like, why are you posting these comments, but you can't fucking bother to show up on your damn show? Come on now. I'm kidding. Damn. All right. But we're going back to what James Gunn has been talking about in regards to this. But they were saying, hear me. So apparently your boy had a theory here. Hear me out. I'm not seeing Superman here. I'm seeing a version of Superman with disheveled hair, with oddly pigmented skin and sharper facial features, wearing a yellow cape with a red logo, opposite of Superman's cape. Obviously distorted for the trailer, but could this really be Bizarro? The second photo is the same image, but brightened. Bro, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Like, what? That's clearly David Cornsweet. I don't know. All right. Haha, it's Superman. It's real photography of David. Like, bro. And I love this. I agree. Bro was so wrong. James Gunn had to step in. It's like, I mean, grasping at straws, my guy. Like, this is, come on. Like, look at this. This is clearly he has the red cape. Clearly that's his face. Bro needs new glass. Bro needs new glasses. All right, so get those things checked out. But Cannonball reaching like a motherfucker. Yeah, if you stare at it long enough, yeah, honestly, that do be the case here. But apparently, the biggest news probably today is apparently Superman is set to release in China, despite all of the stuff. Mission Impossible, Final Reckoning is now. It seems like, this whole thing, but no release date has been given. Is this a surprise?
No.
Or do you, because like, no. Well, here's the thing: Fast and Furious and Mission Impossible and Transformers and like all those movies, that makes sense. But Superman might be, I don't know, like interesting. I don't know, but that's just me.
No, that's not it. No, this isn't a surprise at all, because again, none of it makes sense. It's the Wild West. We're doing what we want. Again, China loves these kinds of movies. It's gonna do well. It's gonna do great. Good for them. Make that money. Whatever.
I know they loved Aquaman. China loved Aquaman. So maybe that's definitely something to be talking about. But yeah, that about does it for DC Daily. Not really a ton to talk about. I thought there was going to be more meaty topics, but we are going to be getting into Q&A stuff real quick, and then we're going to be jumping into the preview for next week. And first things first, for the fan comments, we were talking about these were over the course of the week. But this was, I believe, from yesterday, JB, who sometimes is on the show live, sometimes isn't. The original lawsuit against WB was in the UK because of their copyright laws there. The new lawsuit is still about that, right? However, they are trying to get a U.S. court to hear the case. A U.S. court has no jurisdiction in the UK. This lawsuit will be dismissed as well. Now, it's more than likely it will be dismissed if Warner Brothers did say something today in regards to the whole hearing of like, oh, they're exploiting Superman and blah, blah, blah. I don't think it was originally in the UK. I think it was in the US because that's where the Schuster family resides, but it was for international copyright in Canada, UK, Ireland, and Australia. So it was still US jurisdiction because it's a US copyrighted character, but it's for but it was specifically for international copyright. Hence why it was here. So I hope that clarified some things, but it's more than likely this will be settled or dismissed because they don't have a leg to stand on anymore. And it feels like the Schuster estate just really wants more money instead of actually caring about the character, because the friends sold the character for $138 back in 1939. So now they're like kind of have a chip on their shoulder from that. And that's how it seems like it is. So that's the unfortunate part. But yeah, I don't know if you have any thoughts on the court stuff with Superman,
No,
but
I
well,
pretty
I
much
want to give you a chance to voice your concerns if you have.
I pretty much agree with what's already been said. Like enough is enough already. How many times are we going to keep dragging this issue into the courts? Like, take your settlement, appreciate that, people are supporting you and still giving you a check, and move on already. I mean, this is like the third generation of this family with this, or like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, but I don't want to like shut you out from the conversation, so I gotta
No,
ask.
I appreciate it. You're okay.
So, but next one definitely involves you, Liz, because it's all about Superman's height. So, Superman Kal-El should be 6'3".
I don't know this did not start with me. I just kept bringing up the fact that anytime we like casted or fan casted something, you guys always talked about the height, which to me was
now it's
never
just
a
glued
factor,
to
but
you.
now
It's
a
just
factor,
glued to
so.
you. It's just that's what it is. But Superman Kal-El should be 6'3" to 6'5", no shorter, no taller. Cavill is not 6'1" and was barely 6 feet, even with the Superman boots on. Corin Sweat is closer to 6'3", which is fine for the role. Henry Cavill is 6'1", like I think he's 6'1", 6'2".
Yeah.
So I don't know where, like, I don't know if you've personally measured Henry Cavill, but like, he is 100% 6'1". Like, if you look up Henry Cavill, hold on, I'm doing it right now, and there it is, right there, 6'1". There he is. Boom. I don't know what to tell you.
We just went over it on the whatever we call a couple weeks ago. We have all the heights of it. We went over this.
But I mean, that's just factual right there. Henry Cavill is 6'1". I don't know what to tell you, bro, but unless you personally measured the man yourself, you kind of don't know what you're talking about. But anyway, but the main man who has been on the show talking to us, thank you for all your lovely comments, the main man. Hopefully so we were talking about A World's Finest movie. That was the rumored movie James Gunn was working on. Hopefully A World's Finest would finally put down any rumors about Ben Affleck donning the cowl, even after the last interview. The same people keep thinking there's a chance, like Jim Carrey in Dumb and Dumber. Yeah, I think he's not coming back. He's in his 50s. He has he's in his post-divorce phase right now. He's just doing whatever the fuck he wants to do, keeps directing, keeps acting, whatever. So yeah, I think he's just gonna stick with that, and that's all it's gonna be. So hate to break it to you, but he's not coming back. Unless they plan to do Dark Knight Returns, like a more faithful adaptation. Yeah, I can't imagine. Or he like given a chance to direct maybe, but even then, I don't think he's going to be coming back. But I did want to thank you guys for watching DCU Daily. We still have one more bit of the Oh So Curious show, but make sure to like and comment and subscribe because we still have a little bit of show to talk about. Because we are previewing for next week, and we're going to be talking about Karate Kid's Legends after the huge success of Cobra Kai on first YouTube Red, then YouTube Premium, then Netflix. They like Karate Kid is in like a huge renaissance right now, and we're wondering if the Karate Kid franchise can bring that good factor ability on the big screen, or if this is gonna sink faster than a good metaphor. So are you excited for Karate Kid Legends? Did you ever watch Cobra Kai? Or
I actually did. When they were first marketing it, they showed the first 2 episodes in movie theaters along with the original Karate Kid film, so that was a treat. I was all in for it. I fell off, unfortunately, when they moved to Netflix, and I am going to try and start watching it before this film comes out. I have like a week, but I'm going to do my best to catch up. But I'm pumped for this film. The trailer is amazing. I love Jackie Chan. I'm excited that he's come back and is adding to this franchise. So it's going to be awesome. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be so good.
I agree. I'm excited for it. I've heard a lot of mixed things about it. I've heard it's overstuffed, but also at the same time, not quite enough character stuff with certain characters here. But I've also heard but I've also heard different things. I've heard more positive things where Jackie Chan is really great, Ben Wong is really great, and how they combine both continuities is very well done. And but a friend of mine watched this. He managed to find an early, not an early screening of it, but like an early version of it, and he said it was not very good. He said it's one of the worst movies he's watched all year, and the 91 91-minute running, or 94-minute running time is definitely noticeable, and all the things he was not excited about the movie came true. So there's a lot of things going for this movie and going against this movie. However, I'm still excited. I loved Cobra Kai. I am excited for this. Ben Wong, he's also going to be in The Long Walk later on this year, which I'm also really excited for. And again, who doesn't love Jackie Chan, and who doesn't love Ralph Macchio coming back as Daniel San? So I'm still super stoked for it, even if it might not be the great. It just needs to be better than the next Karate Kid and Karate Kid 3. That's all we ask for. Like, if it's better than those, then it won. All right, so we're good. We're Gucci. But yeah, Legends looks fun. It better be good. Did you all say happy birthday to Empire Strikes? No, we didn't. Happy birthday, Empire, to the best Star Wars movie. Turned 45. So congrats, Empire Strikes Back. Now you can have a proper midlife crisis. That's shorter than Superman. So a lot of people talking about China for Superman, but yeah, this looks like a lot of fun. I agree, Frankie G. It looks like a lot of fun, and it looks like they're doing a lot of interesting things with it. So, but I've had my one friend said it was one of the worst things he watched. Another friend said it was one of the best things he watched. So who knows what this will actually be in the end. I hope it's great. That's all we can really hope for. But
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
Same here. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, click the notification bell. Would love to thank the viewers for watching. Frankie G, you're new. I hope you like and subscribe. I don't think we've seen your face before, but if you're a viewer and just didn't interact till now, nice to finally see you interact. But hope you keep interacting, because we'd love to hear more from you. But yeah, peace sign. Enterprising, Hosea, Geeky Guy, Jalen Harris, Kevin Davis, Antonio Baker, Elite Easy E, Be Positive, Monique Rupley, all y'all, thank you so much for watching. We love and appreciate all of you. We're going to be seeing you guys next week. Hopefully we have a little bit more bite for stories, but I hope you enjoyed our review of Mission Impossible. Hopefully you enjoyed what we talked about in regards to the news, DCU Daily, MCU Weekly, and hopefully we can give you a proper review of Karate Kid Legends. But thank you all for watching. Again, love and appreciate all of you. And remember, look up.